we're going to talk to you about the series of paragraphs and go through a review. The actual series of paragraph writing will be in booklet 2. So it's really important that you understand this is a personal opinion piece, so you are allowed to use I. It's really important to remember that transition words need to be used at the beginning of your body paragraphs. For example, the first, the second reason perhaps, the third, finally, as well, also, my next reason. Those are just a few examples, but they're good transition words and phrases. It's really important that you remember to read your question carefully. Underline important words. So brainstorm both sides of the argument, and then you can choose the side that you have the most points for. That's what you're going to prove. So I'm going to repeat this. When you brainstorm, you're thinking of both sides of the argument, then you will pick the argument that will work best for you, that you have enough points for. Then, out of your brainstorming, select 3 main ideas. After that, you're going to decide on the details used to support the main ideas. It's essential that you brainstorm. So the actual writing the series of paragraphs. Let's go. Introductory paragraph. With that, you want to come up with something that catches your audience's attention, okay? At this point, you want to know that the reader wants to understand what your topic is about in a general manner. Then you write your topic sentence. Begin with the wording from the question and your 3 main ideas. So recapping there, whatever the question is, you are going to pull from the question and state your 3 points. So for example, cell phones are necessary in a student's life because they are needed for safety, schoolwork, and they help students keep connected. Those are the 3 points that you're going to develop in your body paragraphs. So as you can see here, cell phones are necessary in a student's life. That is your thesis or your main idea or argument. Someone else, you could write your series of paragraphs on cell phones being necessary in a student's life. Another student could turn around and write a series of paragraphs saying that cell phones are unnecessary in a student's life. And they could come up with 3 points arguing that. So, your body paragraphs. At this point, you're restating your point, a single point, and then you're expanding on the main idea as listed in your topic sentence. For example, back to the cell phone. The first reason why cell phones are necessary in a student's life is because they are needed for safety. That is a great introductory sentence for your first body paragraph. Just to clarify, so when you're writing, it's actually your second paragraph because you've already got an introductory paragraph, but it's your first body paragraph. So then you move on to supporting information. You're supporting the point that safety is critical in a student's life. So when you do that, you want to be sure to be as specific as possible using real life examples and or stats, which can be made up. All right, next. So you will move on with each one of your points just as you did with your first point. You will go on and do the exact same thing for your second point and then your third point, developing it the exact same way. Moving on to your final paragraph. It's really important that you don't rush this, okay? Make it as important It needs to be as important as your introductory paragraph. You want to make sure you conclude by restating your 3 main points. Ideally, you've reworded it in a different way. If you really feel pressed for time, just make sure that you're restating those 3 main points. Try to do this in at least 3 sentences. So the point here, when I say that your concluding paragraph is important, you don't want to have just the single sentence concluding paragraph. If you can, and really aim for this, use at least 3 sentences for your conclusion. So, here are some questions from past tests. Let's check those out. Okay. Write a minimum of 3 paragraphs expressing an opinion on the topic below. So you're developing your main idea with supporting details, proof, facts, examples. So you know how to do this because you have gone through this slideshow and you've gone through it again. So you want to remember that your audience it's a formal audience, right? Interested in your opinion. The length of this is really important. You guys, you need to really listen to this. They provide you the space. You want to make sure you fill as much of those lines as you possibly can when you write this. So here's our topic. Are today's famous people good role models for young people? No. That is your topic. You can decide whether famous people are good role models. You're going to brainstorm that and what are all the points you could make for that. Then turn around and brainstorm famous people are not good role models. That gives you a barometer in which to gauge what will be best for you and your writing. Let's check out another one. As we know, it's going to say the same thing there about your 3 paragraphs. Okay? And it says opinion. Remember, you can use I in this writing. So let's skip right over here to the topic. Is it a good idea for high school students to have a part-time job? Both sides of the argument, well, the one side is it is a good idea for high school students to have a part-time job. Please note how I have pulled right from the question to create my topic, my argument. Again, the flip side of that, it is not a good idea for high school students to have a part-time job. This is where you're picking your topic, you're deciding your 3 strongest points for this. Here's another one, because there are lots for you to choose from. Are cell phones necessary in teenagers' lives? Well, we just discussed that one at length, didn't we? So you can go for that. There are lots of arguments to be made for the kind of questions that they're going to put here for the personal, the series of paragraphs. That's a good thing. And yet another one. Is participation in extracurricular activities an important part of secondary school life? So, as you know, here at CIS, this may not necessarily apply, but you may be given this question, okay? So you need to think about mainstream schools, for example, and think about extracurriculars. What are, the positives with that, and what are the negatives? So again, you could state extracurricular activities are an important part of secondary school life. Boom. Or extracurricular activities are not an important part of secondary school life. And then you'll go on and state your 3 points. All right, so take a couple of these questions, 1 or 2, get some paper, jot down the question, and get some brainstorming done so that you're really comfortable with this type of writing, this series of paragraphs. Good luck.